Hi everybody, we're just about to complete on this really lovely 1970s Rival 34. She's going off to a very lucky new owner, very lucky seller as well, because he saved loads of money in berthing by selling her really quickly with us. But I thought it might be a nice opportunity to talk about the qualities of a vintage yacht versus the qualities of a modern yacht. So here we've got a very popular, very time-tested boat, well known for long passage making. There's a great owners association, and this one is a very special one. She's had a lot of work done, so there are quite a lot of modifications. Now let's talk about her and what she's like compared to what a modern yacht might be like, so may help you on your buying journey. So as you can see, we're in the saloon here. Now the head height is probably about 5 feet 10, and we're finding that modern boats we do get more head height. That's because they may make the coach roofs higher relative to the decks. They may make the decks higher, which will in turn then give us a higher freeboard outside, which may make it harder to climb on from the pontoon without steps. We see that a lot. But also the interior sole or floor generally is quite low, sometimes almost to the bottom of the boat in the bilge, and indeed so low that sometimes the thwartship stiffeners sometimes protrude through the floorboards at the side. So by lowering the interior floor, raising the interior headlining, we get more headroom down on modern boats in general. Also, we're feeling fairly thin here. New boats tend to feel a lot beamier, so a lot wider. This is because a lot of the volume is carried much further aft throughout the boat, whereas the older vintage boats like this tend to feel a bit more arrow-like to slide through the water, so they're a little bit more inwards. But also you can see we've got the coach roof sides here. They're quite a long way in, which means we've got a nice wide side deck. So this is the width of the side deck here, and on modern boats again we tend to find slightly smaller or thinner side decks, which means the sides of the coach roofs can be wider and therefore give us that more room down below. Very interesting, isn't it? Also, you'll notice we've got windows all the way around. I do feel that when we come into an older yacht, we feel like we're coming down into the belly or the depth of the boat, and once you're you're fairly cosseted from the outside, despite the windows. And this is in no part due to the fact that we normally would have darker decor, so we've got wood which may have gone darker over time, or it may have been darker when the boat was first built, so lots of wood everywhere, which we find usually in older boats is a lot stronger, so we've got lots more to hold on to. And holding on to as well, we find that in older boats, as you're moving around, there is generally more to hold on to, whereas with modern boats we're finding sometimes you struggle for things to grab onto. So we've got handrails everywhere, all the way down to the front of the saloon there, and so in a heavy seaway, which these boats are built to take, and which I guess in the olden days we like to think that sailors did that kind of thing, then we'd be okay hanging on for dear life, etc, etc. So yes, very interesting. And modern boats obviously come with a lot more a greater selection of finishes. You can have different woods, you can have different upholstery. This is kind of a very dark red leatherette, and nowadays we're seeing cream, we're seeing all sorts of things which make the whole thing lighter down below, more modern yet less cosy, which is what I say it's like down here. Another thing I've noticed is coming down through the companionway. Often on an older boat you'll find it's a lot steeper, we're a lot thinner this way, we're a lot, there's less depth that way, so it's more of a clamber to get through. So if you're maybe, if you're not that agile, or if you have a pet dog or something like that, that's something to consider as well. And also you'll find that with an older boat in modern times, you may well find that there have been lots of modifications. Now that can be good, it can be bad. It can be good because she may have been brought into the here and now, and if we just have a look, we can see we've had a new engine panel fitted with a new engine. We can see that we've got a new electrics panel, we've got new electronics, which you can't quite see there, that's really great for the boat. We've got solar panels, we've got a wind vane outside, lots of things have been done to the boat, but you need to check they've been done correctly, because a lot of the time they may have been done by amateurs, a lot of the time the wiring might not be up to scratch, etc, etc. So make sure you know what you're doing, or make sure the person that did it knows what they were doing, or make sure you have a survey to make sure that it is safe. That's without a doubt. Often the galley on older boats will be by the companionway. Quite often they're moving forwards into the front end of the saloon or to the side. So this is a really great place for a galley, because you can pass plates that way, you can pass plates that way as well, so really, really useful. And I guess the other thing that's changed quite recently is the fact that all older boats generally will have a dedicated nav station, because we used to use paper charts, or some still do, and we need somewhere to put that chart and use it. Whereas on modern boats, we're seeing these become dual use for a side cabinet, or disappearing completely. And if you want to use paper charts, you'd have to use something like the saloon table, because we've given over completely to electronic navigation. But yeah, very interesting indeed. So that's just a few things to think about when you're considering a boat, whether you're considering going the vintage way or the modern way. Hope you've picked up a few bits and pieces there. But if you ever need to talk about anything, if you want any views, opinions, or if you want to know which questions to ask, just get in touch with us at Boatshed Brighton Yacht Brokers and Boatcare Sussex, all free of charge. Thanks for watching.